November 27, 1989, 7:04 a.m. Pablo Escobar stood on the balcony of his safe house in Medellin, watching the city wake up. The helicopters were already in the sky. The radio inside was already talking about him. Another bombing, another death toll, another promise from the government that this time they would finish him. Pablo smiled without humor. For 10 years they had been promising the same thing. For 10 years he was still standing. What they didn't know, what nobody knew, was that this morning Pablo Escobar was not thinking about cocaine routes or judges or extradition. He was thinking about his son. Juan Pablo Escobar was 13 years old and sleeping in the next room, unaware that his name had just appeared on a list Pablo never wanted to see. A list of leveraged targets, wives, children, mothers. The Americans called it pressure. Pablo called it war. At 7:19 a.m., the phone rang. Pablo didn't answer right away. He already knew who it was. He let it ring 5 times before picking up. It was General Maza, head of the Colombian National Police. "We know where you are, Pablo." Pablo laughed softly. "You've known where I am for years, and I'm still drinking my coffee." "This isn't about you," Maza said. "It's about your family." Pablo's smile disappeared. "What about them?" There was a pause on the line, long enough to be deliberate, long enough to hurt. "Your son went to school yesterday," Maza said. "Same route, same driver, same time." Pablo closed his eyes. "You touch him and Medellin burns," he said calmly. "Medellin is already burning," Maza replied. Pablo hung up the phone. He stood there for a long moment, breathing slowly, forcing his hands to stop shaking. Pablo Escobar had killed politicians, judges, police officers. He had ordered the deaths of hundreds without losing sleep. But this was different. This was the line he never crossed. At 8:02 a.m., Pablo called a meeting. His inner circle arrived quietly. Blackie, Popeye, Limon, men who would die for him without question. Pablo looked at them, and for the first time they saw something new on his face. Fear. "They're coming for my son," Pablo said. "If they take him, I lose everything." "We can move him," Popeye said. "Hide him." Pablo shook his head. "There's nowhere left to hide." "The Americans don't negotiate," Blackie said. Pablo looked at him. "Then we don't talk to the Americans. We talk to the one man who hates them more than I do." Silence. "You mean Castro," Limon said. Pablo nodded. At 9:40 a.m., a message was sent through channels that didn't officially exist. Havana. Priority. Personal. By midnight, a response came back. December 1st, 1989, 1:15 a.m. Pablo Escobar landed in Cuba under a false name on a plane that officially did not land. Fidel Castro was waiting, not with guards, not with cameras, just 2 men in a quiet room overlooking the sea. "You are poisoning your own country," Fidel said after listening to Pablo speak. Pablo didn't argue. "I know," he said. Fidel studied him for a long moment. "You built an empire with fear," Fidel said, "and now fear has come for you." "They want my son," Pablo said. Fidel nodded. "They always go for the children when they can't defeat the man." "What do you want from me, Pablo? Protection? Asylum? A way out?" Fidel leaned back. "And what do I get?" Pablo didn't hesitate. "Information, routes, names, accounts. Everything I know about how your enemies really work." Fidel smiled faintly. "You are offering me a dying empire in exchange for one boy." Pablo looked him in the eye. "I'm offering you proof that even monsters have limits." There was a long silence. Finally, Fidel stood up. "I will protect your son," he said, "but you will disappear. No more bombs, no more blood. Your war ends." Pablo closed his eyes. Done. December 3rd, 1989. Juan Pablo Escobar boarded a plane believing he was going on vacation. He would not see Colombia again for years. Pablo watched the plane disappear into the sky, knowing he had just lost everything he had built and saved the only thing that mattered. The war did not end because Pablo Escobar was defeated. It ended because he chose to lose. Years later, Pablo would die on a rooftop in Medellin, alone, hunted, exactly as history remembers. But what history does not record is this. Pablo Escobar did not fall because of the police or the Americans or extradition. He fell the moment the war came for his son, and he chose to be a father instead of a king.